How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ruffle Rowlett, and welcome back to a brand new video, guys. So today we have more rumors that have been popping up about Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, and I thought it'd be pretty fun to go through what this information is saying here, and what it could be, you know, relating to. Now, this is apparently, according to, as far as I've understood this, and by the way, this was sent to me by Sunny Knight, or Sunny, also known as CyberKnight94 on Twitter. He sent me this, and he told me, just read into it, see what you think about it, and, you know, it's a rumor that was posted on the Cerebi forums, and, you know, give me your thoughts on this. What do you think about it? So I thought, okay, let's look at what this thing has to say, because apparently the information here was a leak that came out before, as far as I've understood, I could be wrong here, but before Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee were fully revealed yet, apparently this came out. So let's look through what it has to say, what the, you know, rumor here, quote unquote, is saying, and what it's all about, and yeah, that's gonna be just about it, guys. So let's get started. Okay, so here we go. He said the direct will be on the 31st of May, 3 JST, and had a sarcastic title about 90% fake. So I'm not sure what this is supposed to mean. I guess the person who posted this was saying that the reveal of the game was going to happen on the 31st as a joke, but in reality, the actual reveal ended up being on like the 29th and like the 30th, give or take, like around that time. So I don't know. Either way, the games are set to release on the 16th of November. Now, as far as I remember, let's see, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu release date should be, let's see. It is supposed to release on, I guess it's supposed to be in November, that's for a fact, but it's supposed to release, I'm not exactly sure, I think it is 16th of November, actually, which is the correct timing, so that's, I guess, right, but then again, that's just a small thing, that shouldn't be, like, is-all, end-all, and it shouldn't really tell us much beyond, like, okay, cool, well, he knows when it's going to be released, so that's one thing. I can't really find, I'm trying to look here on the side, if I can find when it's supposed to, oh, no, it is, right here. 16th of November 2018. So that was correct, apparently. Aesthetic changes in Cycling Road, Mount Moon, and some routes, and more areas to explore in general. So apparently, this is something that we already know. The Cycling Road has been changed. It now has grass in it and Pokemon roaming it. In the original games, it didn't have that. I mean, you just had the Cycling Road and you had trainers there. You know, you had the bikers that you had to defeat, and that was really all you had in it. Mount Moon has been changed. We've already seen the changes there as well. We've seen how the layout slightly looks different and how you can enter certain areas that you wouldn't be able to enter, you know, previously. So yeah, that's one thing as well. And more areas to explore in general, which sounds good to me, honestly. More areas to explore in this game is better, because my issue with Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, as I've already stated a million times, is that the game just looks kind of lackluster because of the lack of features and just a few things being, like, it just looks like a very limiting game, like it's not going to offer enough. So adding more areas to explore just gives us more reasons to want to play the game, and actually gives us reason to recommend the game to others to buy and play, because if it's just like a simple Kanto with less features, then it's a very pointless game. But if it has more areas to explore, then there's more content there, and that's good. That, like, makes up for any losses in features. So I'm happy with that. Honestly, to me, that sounds very good. But that's not all, though. Eevee receives 2 evolutions, or evolutions, Flying and Fighting. Pikachu and Raichu receive stat boosts. Now, weirdly enough, I don't know about this one. This one's really strange, okay? Because Pikachu has received stat boosts. That's actually a thing. We've seen that. And it's received new moves. It's actually received brand new moves. I think it got Double Kick now, which is really weird. So there has been a boost in Pikachu for sure. We've got proof of that. But a Flying and Fighting type evolution, or evolution, just doesn't seem likely, and I think that's where this kind of, like, rumor falls apart for me, personally. I don't think, like, it just ends up being slightly more fake in my eyes when that pops up. The next one here is Kanto starters are obtained via similar method in yellow. So that makes sense. I mean, logically speaking, I see how that would make sense. I don't assume you're going to be able to catch a Bulbasaur, Squirtle, or Charmander in the wild, like, to begin with. Maybe you'll be able to do it further in the game, but I think since those are kind of, like, rarer Pokemon in themselves, they are slightly more rare. You don't really find them in the wild. I think they're most likely going to do the same thing they did in Yellow, because we do remember, this game is inspired by Pokemon Yellow, so that would just make sense to me. So that one just in itself makes sense. Now, Red and Blue have morals in the story. While Red helps you complete / fill up your decks, Blue has more rivalry nature and battles you time to time to get you stronger. Now, this makes no sense because we haven't seen actually, I mean, I'm not sure about this one because we haven't seen Red a single time yet, or Blue in these games. We know there is a rival in the game who I can't remember the name of, but apparently he's going to be just one of those boring rivals that's just like, oh, hey, I'm a friendly guy, we're good, we're friends, but we're also rivals, haha. Just one of those really boring ones that's just not fun and just kind of like a lazy character, if I'm going to be honest. Like, I like it when your rival is, you know, intriguing, interesting, you know, slightly darker. It's more fun when you have a dark rival or kind of a rude rival, because then you have a reason, you have a motivation to get better than that person. That's why when for example, when I live stream Pokemon, you know, Red or something, or Pokemon Fire Red, and I ask, like, what should I call my rival? Everybody's like, oh, call him douche, and call him this, and call him that, call him bad names, because, oh, he's gonna be a real douchebag, you know? And that's the thing, you want to build that rivalry, because it's supposed to be a rival, not a friend. A rival is supposed to be different from just a normal friend in the game. It's supposed to be someone that, yeah, you can be on friendly terms with, but you're trying to, you know, compete against each other, so I don't know, though, but I know the rival in this game is going to be boring, for sure. That's just an obvious fact. Like, it's undeniably true that that's going to happen. But then, the Blue has more rivalry natures. I'm not sure how that likely that is either. So, I don't know. The next one is Saffron City now has an arena. Celadon City's game corner changed into arcade, which makes sense. This is something I mentioned the other day in a video I made, is that the game corner, or like the gambling area in Pokemon, in Celadon City, that can't exist anymore. Due to the regulations when it comes to gambling in video games, you can't do that. Now, you may say, but there's no actual money involved. Well, here's the thing. It instigates the mindset into kids that, oh, this is gambling, this is a casino, I should go to a casino. So you can't have casinos and stuff in games unless you up the rating of the game, the age rating on the game, to a higher, something like 18 plus, 16 plus, you know what I mean? Well, actually, 18 plus would automatically be if you had a casino in there, and that's why you didn't see, like, the game corners in any future games past, like, I think Gen 3, it was specifically in Gen 3, you had Fire Red, Leaf Green, which I think did have the game corner still, but, you don't see them anymore in the games because they are essentially gambling. So an arcade makes sense. That actually sounds really awesome. And I think that's what's going to happen most likely. Even if this is fake, that's most likely the best option to go with. Because if they fully remove the game corner and just have nothing there, or just some really weird optional thing, or like a side thing, just a normal building there, you know what I mean? And then you go into the freaking, you know, you enter into the Team Rocket hideout or whatever. That'd be really stupid, but I don't know, though, but the Saffron City now has an arena. That is interesting. What kind of arena, and what would you do there? Like, again, I don't think this whole, like, rumor here is too real, but so far, things here seem slightly more on the realistic side of things, except two things majorly here, and that is the red-blue thing, and, like, the flying over fighting, and fighting, evolution. That just seems very unrealistic to me. But next up here is Fuchsia City's Safari Zone lets you enter with Pokemon, but if the wild Pokemon you battle faints, you're kicked out. Now, this is interesting, because I don't think there's going to be a Safari Zone in this game. But here they say, Fuchsia City's Safari Zone lets you enter with Pokemon, but if the wild Pokemon you battle faints, you're kicked out. This is weird. See, this is where I start trusting this less and less and less. But here's the thing, though. A lot of these rumors that do pop up, they tend to have some information that's true and some that's fake. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but for example, the actual leak, Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, it said things. It had a bunch of things that were correct, like when the game's going to be shown, what the names of the games will be, general premise, but then it had other things that weren't actually that are not going to be in the game, that were fake and that weren't shown. So, you know what I mean? This could be that partially some things here are real, others aren't. But apparently, this makes no sense because I don't think there is a Safari Zone in these games. I don't think there actually is one. But if there is a Safari Zone, would you then be battling Pokemon in there? Or would you actually just be normally catching them, like with the Joy-Con, like in any other video we've seen of the games so far, or any other trailer, that you just go around catching Pokemon, not actually battling them? Would that be the same thing here? But if the wild Pokemon you battle faints, you're kicked out. This makes no sense, because I do actually wonder, is that maybe what you have to do? So the Safari Zone is like a vice versa now to the main game. So think about it like this way, right? The rest of the game, the whole game in itself, is like a giant Safari Zone. But then the actual Safari Zone is what the game normally should be, which is where you battle Pokemon and then catch them. Could that be a possibility? Could that be like a little side thing in the Safari Zone? Because again, we don't know much about the Safari Zone. They haven't actually said much about it. I think somebody mentioned that it potentially could not even, like, it could potentially be gone fully, and that they switched out the Safari Zone. for the Pokemon Go Hub or the Go Hub or whatever, where you keep all your Pokemon. I guess that could be a thing. Again, I can't remember all this information because like so many things were thrown all over the place when all this information dropped. I may actually go and look back into everything and see if like what was the deal, but seems weird to me though. Now regarding Go, he said a device will be released for Switch in December, like Go Plus. Now, we already know that that is already kind of confirmed, but I think it's still going to come out at the same time as the actual game, so that's a bit wrong there. So it is a device like Go Plus, but it's the actual Pokeball, whatchamacallit, the, actually, what's it called, like Pokeball Plus? I don't know, but like, you get the point. Like the little Pokeball, it's actually been confirmed. You're on bonus while trading from Go to Let's Go. So Pokemon with exclusive moves and the ones that cannot be caught in game until Bank is released, which he says it will be released in early 2019. Go Capture is in game, but works differently. You throw the Pokeball using touchscreen. This is where it fakes, but balls never miss. If you manage to hit well, better the capture rate. Even if you miss, it still connects with Pokemon. For the aforementioned, he said that legendary Pokemon release some kind of aura, like Eevees do before the battle, which makes them harder to... This is weird, right? This is weird, because what he mentions here, the legendary Pokemon release some kind of aura. See, there is an aura on Pokemon that aren't, like, not before you battle them, or so to say, or not before you try to like go into a battle, try to catch them, so to say, but rather there is an aura that shows like the size of the Pokemon. So if it's like blue, I guess it's like smaller, but if it's red, it's larger, or vice versa. You get the point. So I don't know. It says change in EV system, and it's a focus, and mentions super training. He specifically says Apperently Island to be explored post game. So, to me, this seems fake because a lot of things are wrong here. A lot of things are just instantly wrong. But there's a lot of weird little coincidences. And again, I guess that's the thing, right? It's just coincidences. But the fact that they mention here that you throw Pokeball using touchscreen, fake. We already know that you don't do that. You use the actual Joy-Cons. This is fake to begin with from that point. That's an instant, like, BS there for me. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. But here's the thing, that, like, this information came from here. And I was really curious as to what this could all mean, because the original person who actually reposted this information was this person on actually the page here, and they went through some of this information. I was really curious as to see what it was all about. So if you find post 24, I think is the one that had all this info. If you go up here, you'll find it. Here you go, post 24. New island to explore post-game. A credible leaker already mentioned Apperently Island for those who missed. Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, and Mew having different stories, and not just a simple find and capture like in the previous encounters. Fighting Dojo and Sabrina. Honorable mentions for Magnet Train and Goldenrod City. To meet Looker and SS Anne, and going on an adventure to find Team Rainbow Rocket members along with him post-game. So, again, this just seems unlikely to me, but this person says here that some of this information came from a leaker that already that has been correct in the past, but this was posted on June the 4th. But this information in itself here, this information came in May 24th. So it's a long time ago, and some of these things ended up being slightly real, I could say, because there are changes. Aesthetic changes to the cycling road, the Mount Moon, and some other routes. That's a fact. We've already seen that. We know that Pikachu has received a stat boost and also received a brand new, a totally brand new move, which is Double Kick onto it. Or not brand new move, but a new move onto Pikachu itself. Kanto starters, we've seen so far that we don't really know much about how they're going to be received, and I assume a yellow style of receiving them would make sense. A good question here is what's going to happen with the Game Corner. It has to change it to something, so I guess the arcade would make sense. And Saffron City having an arena, it just sounds cool to me. But then again, I could be wrong here, guys. Either way, I want to know your thoughts on this, guys, in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think about this. What are your opinions? Personally, for me, I feel like this is kind of one of those things where some things are real, some things are fake, and it's just kind of a mashup of multiple things. Because often when rumors and these things pop up, when somebody actually leaks real information, they mix in fake info, so to you know, how do I say this properly? So to lead the scent away from them, so they can't be prosecuted at the end of the day by Nintendo or anyone for being the ones to leak that information, but rather so they can get away, you know, scot-free without any issues, because they were hey, I mean, that wasn't me, because look, this says some random shit that isn't in the game, you know what I mean? So That's what I'm thinking, guys. Anyway, let me know your thoughts about this. What do you think about it? And thank you to Sunny for sliding this information to me and wanting me to look into it. I personally think it's slightly more fake, so I just want to give you guys the info and let you know about it, that it most likely is just a mixture of a few things that end up being real, and most things are just bullshit. Though I do find some of these things here really intriguing, and it would be fun if they were actually real. Though the mentions of Team Rainbow Rocket, bullshit. You know, so many things just seem unlikely because they wouldn't do that in this game. This game is going to be very much like Let's Go Peaches and Let's Go Eevee. It's going to be very more bare bones type games. They're not going to feature as many things as previous games have, so I wouldn't be expecting as much of this stuff, you know, in them. But anyway, it's going to be the end of the video, guys. If you did, if you did enjoy, drop a like down below. Subscribe for future videos. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Ruffle Rowlett. Have a great day, and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.